Oh,
wow.
Hey,
Whoa.
oh my God.
Oh, dude,
That's getting clipped.
Nerderotic.com.
Emily Wilson, who we have the name I have invoked a lot, and many of us have invoked. I did make a point in my video to say that despite the fact that I invoked her name a lot and her name was popped up a lot and mentioned by Nolan and shown by Zendaya, that the Odyssey is Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. And in Platoon's video, which I highly recommend you watch, he has read her translation. So he knows definitively that the story, Odysseus's story, despite the word changes, I'm paraphrasing what he said, despite a lot of changes to the language, Odysseus's story remains the same in that translation, that they're heavily pushing on Audible, by the way. If you look up, at least for me, if you look up for Audible, and it's for it's got the Emily Wilson translation popping up
yourself.
Yeah. There's other ones you can, there's an Ian McKellen one that you can listen. Well, he reads it. So this is her. Now we've already seen this video. There's a full review where she calls it, she bashes it. She calls it abysmal. And as Mahler pointed out before the show, there are a lot of angles being taken with this, which is funny, which is just, it's the way of the world.
I mean, the film has these flashbacks to the Trojan War. I'm not sure if I see it as an entirely anti-war film, but it certainly presents us with an Odysseus who feels very bad about certain things that he's done in war and is struggling to process them in a very, I would say, very modern psychiatrized way. And he's struggling to process them and needs drugs to do so for help with his recovery.
Right.
And he seems to feel bad about being a warrior, and we never actually get to see him doing much warrioring, which I thought in a way was a bit of a shame. I mean, we do get to see the boat, which is lovely, but I think in some ways, I mean, I was realizing, thinking about the film, there's a tolerance for ambiguity in the world of the Odyssey, which I don't think there exactly is in the world of Hollywood blockbuster action films.
Right.
And I think that's one of the big challenges for Nolan, right?
Yeah.
Is that he has to make the protagonist a likable all-American hero,
right?
Which is a real challenge if you're basing this on a poem where the hero is not necessarily motivated by romantic love or being a nice suburban parent, but actually he wants glory, and he wants to get spoils from the sack of a city, which is, you'll see what Nolan does with all of that, but it's different things from what Homer does.
Right.
I kept looking in vain for a sense that this was a film about glory. I think it's a film that has some interest in shame, but I don't think it has any interest in glory.
So her perspective is very much from like an academic feminist perspective. And it is still like, you need to have the glory there. And, or even, Disbrew mentioned this, you need to have the ladies of the night at the end being executed there, because then she can add that, and this is only from what I've heard, so if it's wrong, let me know, that she can add that the ladies of the night were also SA'd before they were executed, or during, at some point towards the end, to make them more of a victim, a change, which might have happened back then, because that was just kind of the way of the world. And, you know, a lot of times with adaptation, and this has been, Platoon mentions this, like each translation, they take a different angle and they have their modern sensibilities put on it through the course of time. Even, again, Platoon brought this up, even when Homer adapted, or was, because he was just basically writing down a story that was told over time. So he didn't come up with the story. And he used the armor or just the weapons of the current day and not of when the story took place. So there are changes there, and it all depends on perspective, right? That's all this is perspective. And I don't think did any of you guys expect a one-to-one adaptation?
No.
From Nolan?
No.
I don't think that's even realistic, not in a 3-hour movie. If he had done a series or 3 movies, that maybe. But one of her criticisms is the lack of gods, the removal of gods. The one god we see is basically a PTSD delusion. It could certainly be interpreted that way, right? Which I talked about in my video. But it is interesting that I brought it up in my first video. I don't want to show it. It's towards the end where I said this is going to be a shitstorm like we've never seen, and it's going to come from multiple angles, and that's exactly what's going on, right? Still, an immensely popular movie, only had a 27% drop off in its second weekend. 27. That's insane. That's unheard of. For whatever reason, that's unheard of. What do we got here? Is this the full review?
It has like some quotes from it, so
Okay.
I thought I'd bring it up.
I would be ashamed to have written any part of this. Odysseus translator Emily Wilson attacks Nolan blockbuster. Wilson, whose work on Homer's epic was praised by Nolan, said his film was grandiose and superficial with nothing convincing to say.
It's really fucking annoying, this, though, because if Emily Wilson's saying something like that, you'd be like, oh, this film's probably going to be pretty fucking good then.
Yeah.
But it's not. So it's just like she's done a fucking feminist piece of shite adaptation. And it reckon much to Nolan's in the slightest. So both of them can just, kind of do one as far as I'm fucking concerned.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at before this start, is you can take any position on this basically, because it's way, everything's too up in the air. Let's take, for example, the side that is very in favor of her. Their new sort of update for this is love her work, and her hating it means that it may be that Nolan did like fuck up a lot of pieces of the Odyssey in a way that like bothers them on an accuracy level, or some of the things that she's written. That same side, who are more maybe anti her, would then say it means that the production was never what a lot of people tried to push online, and that Nolan actually added and changed things to make it better than what she would have had it been stuck with. But then we flip sides, like that's over there, that's the two sides they're doing it. Let's say the other side is who already kind of like isn't interested in her work to begin with, but is more pro this piece of news, to be like, aha, so Nolan subverted her and made it more masculine and more accurate than what she had. But then if you flip that again on the same side, you could say her hating it means it's even more feminized than what she had compared to what like what Nolan intended or whatever. The problem is, not to keep referencing it, but he deserves it. I feel like Platoon's going to be the one that's going to be able to end this conversation if he's going to read through all of it and then be able to make the comparisons. He's done one of 4 parts on this for his channel, but the way I see it is I don't really want to talk too much on what her work is, because I don't know what it is. I don't know enough about it. At the same time, I find what she has as criticisms to be bordering close to a lot of the ones I had. It feels weird. It's like, okay.
Queen of the Chuds.
She's Grace Randolph.
So
radicalized.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like you can take this information and use it however you want, because it's just not enough definitive information, I guess, not enough details.
God, I don't want to be forced to read her translation. I really don't.
No.
I hope that Nolan's affinity with the Homeric themes might push him to new creative heights and enable him to conjure more believable characters, but the Odyssey features his usual combination of grandiosity and superficiality. The film's version is too confused, its characters too underdeveloped to deliver what it half promises in terms of big ideas, although it is very good at conveying big bangs and big giants. Wilson adds, Nolan's Odyssey lacks many of the elements that make the poem great. It has nothing convincing to say about time, memory, history, war, or about the relationship between one warrior's glorious return and the lives of his family, adversaries, comrades, friends, and neighbors. It lacks psychological, emotional, political, and ethical depth. Its narrative structure is gimmicky. The writing is abysmal. None of the characters have convinced motivation for their actions or words. There are no sex scenes, and all the food looks horrible. That's
what I'm saying. Like, there's not much left to be said. It's like, well,
yeah, that's good.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna admit that's not the one I went to. I didn't think about the food very much. It's like George R. Martin, who will detail a meal and how that people eat that meal, and fucking buttered mushrooms. He'll talk about that for like a paragraph. Yeah, George R. Martin likes food. He definitely likes food.
Yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah. No, it's the same argument. Okay, so the woman who came up with the Bechdel test, you guys remember? She said it's a joke. It was a parody.
It's a joke. Yes.
It was a parody. But she also mentioned that like Hollywood uses it as a rule book, but they don't really get the parody, and they just see the surface level of it, and they have this risk-averse version of feminism where, well, just to be safe, we won't have, we just saw it a little bit in Mahler's Halo playthrough. We just won't have any violence against women, which will take away all of their agency, which means you can't give them any real character depth. Calypso is woman on island. That's all she is. Like in the movie, the book or the poem has to do heavy lifting on that, because if you just watch the movie, she is just woman on island.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything about Calypso other than she's feeding him lotus.
Yeah. So
actually, it's a little bit worse than that, because you'd be like, oh no, she's trying to get him off the lotus so he can remember. It's a big difference between the Calypso and the fucking poem and what they try to, but they take away a lot of we kind of joked about this the other night, but what Nolan's Odyssey, what it does is it takes every single bit of accountability off women. It's the fucking he literally did the meme, woman's greatest fucking enemy is accountability. And he's done that. He did it with Cersei. He did it with Calypso.
Yeah, and it, like, as time goes on, I think people will just look back and go, man, there's a lot of talk about this movie.
Well, it'd be like, well, the Odyssey, that did a lot of money. Anyway, moving on.
Yep.
I think that's
made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Like you said, the people who like this film, you don't hear them talking about the great character work, the journeys of each, like all the thematic elements. I'm not going to lie and say there's no posts about it, but the ones that do talk about, the fucking Xenia, Zeus's law, all that shit, it doesn't take long before someone's like, well, wait, but what about this part? And they're like, oh yeah, okay, that doesn't really fit with all of that. And it's like, and how does that account for this? And then how does that work with it? And then, the fundamental flaw that everyone's brought up is like, by changing the story in favor of all the Zeus's law shit and saying it was breached with the fucking horse, like, I feel like there was a bigger event that breached it before that, and they never talk about it in the movie, and it kind of just undermines everything.
Now it's her. CHUDS got owned.
Well, and to what you were saying, Az, right? It's like Helen of Troy is in the movie. It's like the things that were done in my name. It's like the things you did, love.
The things you did. Yeah. Accountability taken away from Helen. Running off.
And again, the gods that were like convinced Paris or pushed Paris toward Helen was Aphrodite. I think
Aphrodite.
It's there were other gods involved in that. There were three women gods with that, and then like Athena. All the shit she does in the stories. This is what I'm saying.
They just focused on Agamemnon sacrificing their daughter. They didn't go into the fact that she was having an affair and she conspired with her lover to kill Agamemnon, not just because of what he did to their daughter, but because it'd get him out of the way. Every fucking woman, accountability washed away from them. He's more feminist than fucking her.
Well, it makes the story fuck too, is kind of what I'm saying with the themes of the Zeus's law. You've taken out these chunks, and now it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It was never about that anyway, or at least not broadly. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
With the Scooters, because they're talking about Zeus's law. That's why we've got to feed them. They've overstayed. They have drunk you fucking dry. They've eaten all your food. They've abused Odin's law there. You wouldn't be
by Odin's fade.
By Odin's fade. Zeus's law. So they would, you wouldn't have that. Oh, we're gonna get exiled, and then having Odysseus to be exiled at the end, which obviously didn't happen in the fucking poem either. It's just fucking nonsense. oh, I broke Zeus's law by killing the fucking suitors. No, you reclaimed your fucking home for a bunch of people that were trying to murder your son and fucking abscond with your woman.
Yeah.
Gee. And again, the maids, no accountability. No accountability for their treachery. No accountability for any of that. Conspiring to kill Telemachus. None of it. And why did he do that? Why did Nolan say we didn't kill the maids off at the end?
I can't believe he said this.
Yeah.
Because it would be misogynistic.
Oof.
Yeah.
Fuck right off, you knobhead.
That's still throughout this entire journey is the most surprising thing is Nolan playing this game that he didn't need to play. It's bizarre. There we go.
I'm just grateful for Robert Pattinson chewing scenery.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's one of the few things that gave me joy in life.
That little smile he gives right after, get these beggars out of here.
Get these
It's so
beggars out of
good.
here.
And the little blinking he does, like people have done legit analysis on that because it's such a meme now. It's like one of the best delivered lines in the whole movie, and I don't disagree. It was
Yeah.
the one I was referencing, Gary, when I said he's probably the best performance, but the performance doesn't feel like it suits the time or place.
Yeah.
That's not his fault because fucking Nolan didn't tell him anything. Just
Yeah,
like, all
he
right,
said,
well,
you're the actor.
Figure it out.
which he put in a good performance.
Thank you for that, Mr. Director.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.